Welcome back to the Young Bucks podcast, episode number 76. I'm very excited. It's a Friday. It's one of our first Friday episodes in a minute, probably ever. I don't know how many times we've really hooked up on a Friday.
Yeah, dude. Fridays.
I don't know how many times we've recorded on Friday, but very excited to be here at the crib. On the couches. Feet are up. Socks are off.
Shoot.
Shout out, Jack, man. Thank you for tuning in. Very, very excited today. How about you? How you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling light. Feeling breezy. You know?
Yeah. Breezy?
Yeah, dude. I'm ready to go.
Go what?
Go.
To
on
do
this
what?
episode, dude.
Okay. What?
What?
What? Yo, wait a minute. What'd you do to the hair?
Dude, I mean, I lost some. I woke up one morning and it was just gone.
The bed bugs eating it?
Bed bugs ate my hair. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your thought process? A few days of the haircut, what do you think?
It's weird not having curls. Like, it's the first time I've had curls in a while.
You still got a little bit in the front.
Well, yeah, still got a little bit going on. So it's definitely, it's something new. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I might start rocking like a comb over type of whole head's like the same length type. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it yet.
Like an early 2000s cut?
Yeah, I almost got like an early 2000s cut going on. And yeah, so I mean, like, I don't mind it. Like, I don't hate it.
For those on audio, it gives like a little bit of the early Justin Bieber, like when he was like a kid and the baby song. That's what
Henry's been calling it.
Yeah. Not so much
from when we've seen each other.
Not as much right now. But before, like when you like dried it initially and you didn't do anything to it, that's what it looked like.
Yeah. But yeah, excited. I mean, the haircut was definitely necessary. I didn't really know what I was gonna do with it, so it kind of all came off at the same time. But
is it the same length all the way around? Like that got cut off?
I think so.
Like just like 2 inches off the top, 2 inches off the back, off the sides.
I just know that it got cut. I didn't ask for any specifications.
Just like clean me up.
Clean me up. Can you tell?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I like it though.
Appreciate it.
I like it.
Appreciate it.
Leave the sides, cut the top. That's what you got to tell them at the barbershop.
Leave the sides, cut the top. So you got to tell them at the shop before you pop off.
Put that on a shirt.
Put that on a shirt. Put it on a shirt.
I wonder how many like
shirtable quotes we've had.
No, I feel like this would be a really good compilation. Things Henry says and Chris immediately just repeating it right back as if like he's also saying it. There are so many times where I'm like,
I kind of thought,
put it on a shirt, and Chris is just like, put it on a shirt. Like right back afterwards.
I think
like that's your immediate response.
That's my immediate response. I kind of thought you were going to barbershop or whatever, or cut the top, go to the bar. I don't know. You just said something that rhymed, and I thought you were gonna go with it, so I just said it after, thinking that you would like cut the
top, go to the shop. Yeah, I heard that you made it into a bar.
Well, I kind of thought like you were gonna make it into the bar, so I repeated what you said word for word, thinking that you would hear that it rhymed. Yeah. And so then you would actually like make the bar.
Okay, I can see how this is a special instance, but there are multiple times where it's just like,
what is going on inside his head?
Yeah. Like you were like,
I feel like that could be a compilation.
What could be a compilation?
Do you notice that? Like repeat things that you say? We could like make it into a compilation.
That's what I was just saying.
Oh, dude, really?
And now you're just repeating it. That's crazy. Yeah, or like you'll tell a story and I'll just be like, yo, that's crazy. And then you'll just be like, crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
There would be a lot of content if we did that.
Speaking of the news, do you want to do the Kelsey brothers thing?
What'd they do?
The news.
I don't know what you're talking about.
News. Have you seen them do that on their podcast?
I've never listened to the whole thing. I've only seen the clips.
No, they have like a segment. It's like new news. And so like Jason will say it, then Travis will say it. But I kind of thought you had seen it.
Okay, we can do it.
We're gonna do it as a joke. It don't matter now. But Michigan football is being allocated and investigated for stealing signs
from other teams.
Which
this season specifically
from other Big Ten schools. Which I'm gonna elaborate a little bit. Michigan is being investigated for sending people to other opponents that they could play in playoff games and are on the schedule, which is against the rules, which is in violation of 11.6.1 in the NCAA bylaws. Sending someone in order to look for signs that the other teams that you will play is against the rules.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that is in the rule book.
How do they monitor that though?
I don't know.
Because you could be like anybody in the stands.
Right. But the thing is, like, obviously, like, you can see signs, like, from the game. Like, if you're already playing the team and, like, you see something that they're doing, obviously that's not against the rules. But, like, going out of your way to send someone to do this is illegal.
Yeah. Bad intentions.
Now we know.
Dude, there it was.
Now
that's what I'm talking about. I respond to Chris with something and he just like immediately, that's it.
Now we know Jim Harbaugh has a history.
Has a history?
Yes, he does. He's already been suspended for 3 games this year for violating the rules of
title.
Can't think of what it's called.
Oh,
recruitment. Yes, the recruitment. The recruitment laws, you know?
Yeah.
So, do you think that Jim Harbaugh is behind this? He has denied any involvement. He's already denied being involved with any of this or having any knowledge of it.
He has?
Yes.
What's the source for you? Like where did you see this?
ESPN, CBS, Yahoo.
Oh, so like the big boys are putting all this out, and he's like, no, that's not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
He denied being involved. He denied like that Michigan football did this. So did the president of the team and the head of school.
Well, of course.
Right.
Either way, you're not gonna
say that. Like,
that
oh yeah, we did it.
Yeah, that's us. So they're not stealing signs from the teams they're playing, just the teams that they could play in the playoffs?
So potential playoff teams that they could play, but also the people on their schedule. It's said that like they're trying to refine their skills of catching signs like by the time they play Ohio State and Penn State.
Got it.
Who are the 2 undefeated teams that they play.
Okay. Interesting. I just don't know how, but I don't know how anyone would be able to crack down that that's what was happening. Like, they're not going to show up in like their Michigan attire.
Their Jim Harbaugh
to the
attire.
Ohio State game.
Right.
That they're not playing in.
Mm-hmm.
If they're there to like scout and
steal.
Yeah, steal signs. So the other question is, why is it a story? Because it's not like they're just saying that about Georgia. They're not just saying that about Ohio State. They're specifically saying it about Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They have a cakewalk of a schedule.
They do. So does Georgia, but
I mean, they've been good. So it's not like it's like, oh wow, Maryland's undefeated and beating all these teams by 40 points, like some random team that hasn't been good lately. So why would they make a story out of it for Michigan? That's a big question.
Right.
If it's not true.
I think one of the big things that could point to it not being true or being false,
that would be the opposite of being true.
Is the fact that college does not use headset play calls. They use signs. NFL has been using callers to the helmets from the sideline since like since 1994.
Why does Jim Harbaugh wear the speaker then? The headphones.
Because that's not getting. I believe, I could be mistaken, that there's like the OC and the DC are like up top watching from up top seeing what the other team is in.
Oh, okay. So they tell him the formation, and then Harbaugh tells the play caller.
Yeah.
Because they're actually holding up a sign, and it's got like, not like emojis is the wrong term, but just like it might be like a hot dog in like a ice cream can, and like that's like the sign for the play. So it's like the players on the team know what the hot dog means to do, but like the other team wouldn't. Right. So if like they're sending players or they're sending scouts to like the Ohio State Penn State game, for example, and they see like they're holding up the hot dog and it's like
a run,
like play. A run, then they're gonna know when Ohio State puts up hot dog when they play them that they're already prepared for the run. So yeah, I don't know. That's weird. So you got the Buffs shirt on.
I do have the Buffs shirt. I can finally wear my Coach Prime shirt. Yeah, we're still undefeated. Haven't lost a game yet. We're up there with the best of them. Here in Colorado town, Coach Prime, I'm repping.
I mean, like it's got to be a process for them.
Yeah,
like they got off to a great start, 3-0, and they played 2 tough opponents.
They did,
and they got blown out by one. The other they did fairly well against, and then, and then got beat by an unmatched opponent. They were significantly
arguably
worse.
The worst team in college football.
Yeah, known for its academics.
Yes.
So
pretty sad.
Yeah,
pretty sad day in C-Buffs town.
after they beat TCU the first game of the year, I was like,
let's ride.
This team's going undefeated. Like, let's get ready for college playoffs.
Let's go. Yeah, 14-0.
That's what you were thinking too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I obviously I'm not like a diehard college football fan, but I was like, oh, I like this team. I like watching this. I like what's happening. I'm gonna support them, but they do suck. They do, or they don't suck, but like
they're mid.
Yeah, they're overrated.
Are they still ranked?
No. They lost their ranking after the Oregon game, I think.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean,
Air Force 6-0.
Are they ranked?
Yeah, they're number 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go Air Force.
Sorry.
So are all the players that play on Air Force going into the Air Force?
I'm not sure, but I would have
to. Or do they
assume.
go to the college just to play football?
I noticed that one.
I do too.
I don't know though. I don't know. Same thing with the Navy.
Yeah, it's got to be that they're going to play, or no, they're going to that military field.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I don't see obviously like they're all enlisted into some way, shape, or form, but I just don't know like how it all works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, bleh.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the first thing that we really wanted to talk about was we had one of our listeners, loyal listeners, received a DM.
Please do.
So he just asked us if we could
DM
talk
us.
about something that he was interested in hearing our take on it. So if that's something that, you got something that you're thinking about that you'd like us to talk about and kind of hear our thoughts, our opinions, our takes, our facts even on a given topic. It could be cultural. It could be related to faith. It could be something in your personal life that that's like an experience that a lot of people may go through or that we have gone through, something like that. Or is more specific, feel free, reach out into the Young Bucks account.
And we don't even have to talk about on the podcast. Like, you can just DM us to talk to us.
Maybe you should start like a consulting business. Like Chris is consulting.
I had that in high school. It was Chris's consolation. I don't know, something like that. But
what?
Anyway, so let's a
bit.
I don't plug. But
I'm just saying, like, you always go back to that. You're like, you know what? If you just want to have a conversation, like, let's just do it.
Do it, yeah.
So like, you should like create like some sort of like.
I know, but I had one in high school.
Are you being serious?
Yes.
What was it called?
Chris's. I can't think of what it was called.
But it might have been for real. You're being for real.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much?
Chris's couples counseling. That's what it was.
You're lying.
Nah.
You're lying.
Nah, bro.
Why you gotta ruin something like that? I'm trying to help you out.
I'm not lying. I promise you I'm not lying.
You have an itch that needs to be scratched. You want to talk to people about their problems. I'm just trying to help you.
Okay, anyway, as the shameless plug was going, as you were.
Okay, so what do you want? The topic
You're
you
not
want
gonna.
to What?
You're not gonna give me a shout out?
What do you mean?
You're not gonna give my business a shout out? I thought that's what the whole point of that was.
No.
Oh.
What do you mean? I am lost.
I am too. You were trying to talk to me about a business that you wanted me to start, but then you're not gonna give me a plug?
You said it on the same thing that they would hear me say it from.
I know, but it would have come different coming from you. It would mean more.
I started shouting it out and you completely ruined it.
All right, so go ahead.
No person with a problem is going to want to talk to someone who can't even solve this.
As you were.
As I was. There was a song that dropped about 2 months ago. So, like, we're definitely not on any sort of, like, viral train with this clip or this segment of talking. It was the Richmond, North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. And if that doesn't, like, bring anything to your mind, you've either heard the song or seen the picture of the guy singing it in his backyard. Because it was just everywhere. Like, for the most part, if you're on social media, if anybody that you know has a phone or access to a computer, like, you've seen something to this effect. Yes. Surely. Like, it was everywhere. And the reason it went viral is because it's a very raw, like, clip of this guy in his backyard just singing a song. Now, the quality is very amazing. So shout out to that. But basically what he's talking about in the song is a lot of the things that are relating to the current status of the United States of America and, like, life in general. So the first way that I saw this song come out was that there was a compilation put together of a variety of people reacting to this guy singing this song. Like, black, white, male, female, young, old, like, everybody was getting the same emotion brought out of this song. And, like, a lot of what it's talking about is, like, with the government, with work, with some of the conspiracy things about, like, which don't seem to be as conspiracy anymore, regarding, like, you know, the Epstein stuff, minors, and basically like a lot of the welfare, obesity, how young men are treated in the sense of, like, the expectation put on them by society. And I think it is a very good thing, like, to bring to light. The biggest thing I had, because I listened to the song a few days ago when he sent that to me, and just to get a refresh, and as I've been thinking about it, when it comes to mind, there is a sense of victimization for what, like, applies to me when I'm thinking about it. So, like, if I was going to play this song in the car and it's like one of the lines is like, overtime hours for bullshit pay, like, basically saying like slaving my life away, like, to work for a job that, like, is not compensating me accurately, which I get the point that he's making. He's saying, like, overall, like, that's a lot of the state of America, like, how people and employees can be treated in, like, bigger companies and organizations, but that, like, caters to a more victim mindset about the topic. So it's not, like, necessarily, like, taking ownership over what can you do to improve that, like, job aspect of your life. I mean, with all the negative things that are going on in the country, like, overall, big picture, especially what he's talking about, one of the prominent things is how much opportunity there is to create something where you are in control of the result financially. There's no lack of that. It's not like you can't go start, like, a business or a project or something. Everyone's situation is different, right? So, like, as a 20-year-old kid with not much responsibility, not the same type of responsibilities as maybe someone who's already started a family and established themselves and maybe gone to college, and, like, there's those situations, right? Where, like, I'm not necessarily speaking to that. The people I'm speaking to is more people in my demographic, where it's like the trajectory of where, like, kind of in the starting point. going forward. Don't let that, like, the thing that he talks about, allow the victim mentality.
Yeah.
To like when you're playing that song and like listening to it, oh yeah, like, man, like these employers, like, I'm gonna go my whole life without getting mine, because I'm just gonna be like slaving at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only negative thing, which I think is important to kind of like address those things first, that are like, maybe this is like a perspective or an angle in which you look at something which a lot of people are relating to, a lot of people are taking it as a positive, and I think it is. But like, what is a way that it could be taken too far? I think that's the only thing that's like, oh,
the boundaries.
Yeah, is a boundary. So although it may be true, don't let it allow like the victimization of self when listening to it. That was the first thing I kind of wanted to establish. Floor is yours for either response or just your take.
One of my takes from it would be that, like, obviously there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that nobody knows about, that is now being brought to light to some capacity. There's like a whole bunch more that's definitely going on that nobody really knows what exactly is happening. And I think, like, hearing that from the song, and then, like, you just said something just now, and it made me realize something that I read this morning, and it's 1 Timothy 5:24 and 25. It says, "Remember, the sins of some people are obvious, leading them to certain judgment, but there are others whose sins will not be revealed until later. In the same way, the good deeds of some people are obvious, and the good deeds done in secret will someday come to light." And saying that, like, the sins will not be revealed until later is kind of what the song is like professing. Like there's a lot that's happening right now that nobody knows about. Nobody, like, that, like there's just a lot going on, and like, but that will be revealed, so that should give us hope. Like, and through the song, that, like, things get brought up in, and like the way he like sings it, and the way he uses the words he uses, it's like it should give a little bit of hope for things to come.
I think you look at things, it's either light or it's darkness. Like, what's the intention behind the thing that was produced? There's a lot of light behind what was produced with this. I think it shines a light on the darkness that hopefully invokes change. And I think that's what the best thing about this song is that it can invoke change in people, in their mentality, in being contrary to what is normal, what has been made normal about being obese, about being depressed, about being broke, or about allowing these things to like consume us as a society. And a very cool thing about Oliver Anthony was, like, 30 days or so before this song got made and went viral, he gave his life to Christ. And I don't know his full testimony on like what was he going through, what was his life like, but to know that like he put his faith in Jesus, and I think was somewhat established as a singer. And so like this wasn't like his like first song and he went wild. It was just like, showed some fruit of his work that he's been putting in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people got to see it. And I think it's a cool thing when, someone who as people who believe in God, to see someone who is able to like put their talents to that level and shine so much light on the darkness. I think that's a great thing.
Definitely big time. That I was about to repeat you. I was about to repeat what you just said. So I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. Trying trying to think if there was anything else about that.
Just the relatability of it, I mean, is really the major thing. The fact that it's relatable to everybody, whether you're, no matter what you're going through. Like, it's just a relatable song that everyone can kind of get behind. Like, it invokes hope that, like, this isn't the only way to live life.
Yeah.
Like, it like you said, it invokes change, and that change gives people hope.
Yeah. I was actually having a conversation today kind of about the state of the world. It was sparked by that clip that we watched last night. This lady was interviewing somebody who had a take on math, and that math is racist, and that 2 plus 2 might not equal 4 because math doesn't allow for any objectivity in, you know, what it means. Like, there's definitions in math. There's like this number means this number, and this is what it is, and this is how it is. There's nothing that's ever gonna change that. So therefore, math might be racist? Question mark. It's crazy. Like,
That's even being talked about.
I don't know, but that's besides the point. It's just like, you know, they were twice my age, and so like I was asking, I was like, is this how it's like always been? And they were like, no, like, you remember when you were a kid and like everything like was normal? She's like, that's how it was, but for everyone. Like, I was like, oh, I wasn't just like I mean, there are aspects of it where it's like you're just a kid, you're just living no matter what's going on.
Right.
But yeah, thinking back to being like, you know, elementary, middle school, like there wasn't any of this. Even in the young age, in the not so high as high of a level of consciousness as we are at right now, still like it's crazy how quickly we have gotten here.
It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was just talking about it the other day that like it sucks that like this is how, like, this is what we're gonna have to raise our children in, and like I was like, I might just homeschool my kids, you know?
I'm on the same level.
Like, I don't want them to like be trapped, but like I'll make them do some sort of like extracurricular thing, but like I'm definitely thinking like big time on homeschool right now.
Yeah.
I don't even have a girlfriend.
I think it's good to be proactive about those thoughts, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like establishing the principles of how to have a direction for the family,
mm-hmm.
even though you're 18 and far from kids and their age of school. But I think that's like, it would be cool to be able to have that opportunity to design like structure for them. Like,
yeah.
You know, I read a book by a content creator, and he was homeschooled, and they were a religious family. Like, he had a brother. They did school from like 9 to noon, and then like their mom knew what they were doing. Like, she did research into like all the programs. She had them get like a good education by way of specific research, and then made sure that they were involved in community, involved in the extracurricular things that are a plus to going to school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they turn out, I don't want to say he turned out normal, but you know, like
right.
sometimes when kids are taken away from that social aspect of school, it can be detrimental to, like, you know, when you're time to be out of school, how social are you going to be?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great option.
Yeah, I do too.
So maybe we can.
That's where we stand. Create our own school.
Young Bucks
schooling.
I remember talking to Belle on the bus. We were riding on a bus one time. I was actually on the way to the airport for the senior trip. I like, for whatever reason, had this like vision of having a school, and I remember talking to her about it, like just like helping create like some sharp young men. That's what we're
doing on the podcast. That's what the podcast is for.
For you to learn from us we're no men savants, but this is the
we're
journey,
no Apostle
man.
Paul.
What's crazy is though we can when we're 25 and wherever we're at with that,
we can still not be male savants.
I'm just saying, like, you can say, like, this was us at 18 and 20.
Facts.
This was us at 17 and 19. You know, there's value.
Right.
There's value. So it's about laying the foundation, man. Another thing, like, along with that, like the 2+2 thing, lady, the lady who can't accept that 2+2 might be 5. We just don't know. There's a lot of that. But I don't know what happened, but like today, I decided to I started to get on Instagram and just watch a few things, kind of get some content into my head that like maybe I could bring up on here, which ironically it provided. All the videos were like explosive trans people or gay people or just like.
What'd you be watching?
No, wait. No, like debate, like debates,
okay.
like not like that. But it was just like dude on the street interviews trans person about like a thing, but like there's apparently this thing called like the gay scream or something like that, where it's just like they just like someone who identifies as that screams just at whatever is said. Like as loud as possible. One person said they were standing in the neighborhood. Like neighborhood.
The gay person did or the straight person?
The gay person did.
No longer funny. No longer funny.
It's funny that they would call it that. Like if I said you're in the neighborhood, bro, that's jokes.
Right.
But they said it unironically.
Right.
But
so it makes it not
here
funny.
was my takeaway is like how
lay it on me.
How that group of people, I mean, it's called pride. It's literally called pride. Like they're taking like so much pride, like literally pride in what they believe and what they stand for.
Right. Gay pride.
How
big toi.
If I personally, not even just like making this like general, if I personally like believe in Jesus, how come I can't be that bold? But like someone can shave the side of their head, dye it purple, like get a bunch of piercings, get a belly shirt, and go out into the streets and like
just get accepted,
force their beliefs on other people. You know what I mean? Like
right, it's stupid.
It's crazy that is like the direction that like there's a lot of people taking.
Because like if we did that, we'd get. I mean, I don't know how. It just definitely would not be accepted.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I don't think that like that's getting accepted by like. I mean, shout out Jason Aldean. Try that in a small town, Like, I don't know if it's happening.
Exactly. And I think that's like another thing, like drawing it back to the Richmond North of Richmond song, Oliver Anthony, is like. That's another thing that I was talking about. It's just like there's like so much agenda being pushed by those people in North of Richmond.
Those people, okay. Yes.
Like that clearly it's agenda. It's not like
yes.
I don't know what percentages are. I would argue to say there's probably less people that abide by those things that are like, yeah, that's great. Like, let's support them. But a big thing, like I have been something I do think about, especially since listening to that sermon series that your church is going through, that you've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Talking
you
about,
listen to it?
Yeah, I've been listening to them.
Oh,
on bike rides.
Oh.
It's been on my mind to think about like, okay, say I had to talk to someone about my stance on this. I'm not a judge. I can't be. I'm a sinner. I'm messed up. And I like the way he put it. Like, it's a lie. Like the devil has an agenda to say a lie. Like, you are gay. It's not that
I listened to this yesterday.
It's not that you are gay. You struggle with same-sex attraction, which is a sin. That is a sin. You're not defined as gay. That's just like the agenda of the dark side.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like okay.
Like everything that Jesus has, the devil has a counterattack for.
Like you struggle with same-sex attraction. I struggle with being anxious about a bunch of things. Sin.
They're the same.
Or like it's not like But the other point that he made was that there's different consequences
Yes.
for the actions that you outwardly take or inwardly take. There's different consequences. It's just judged the same by God.
Right.
And something that was put in a way in the church I've been going to is that God is a judge, and when it talks about heaven or hell, like how could God send someone to hell? The idea behind it is like, if I'm a Christian and I believe when I die and I repented for my sins, when I die, God judges me on the fact that I repented for my sins, and he honors the way that I chose to live my life. If you choose to not repent for your sins, God honors the way that you lived your life. He's the judge, like he's just. And so like that was a good perspective for me, is like God is not sending someone to hell because, he hates them.
Yeah.
Or the only distinction between the two is the choosing out of the free will to repent and live your life that way. And God is just going to honor whether or not you made that decision. It's that like blanket clear,
Truly.
Yeah. I know we kind of didn't really define that transition. We wanted to talk about like some things that we've just kind of been learning about God and like seeing like throughout this past week or weeks that's been coming to mind, like just sharing with you like something that we've learned from the Word or just our life and experience with Jesus and learning. So that's kind of like I kind of started that segment without really.
That was yours.
Yeah, it kind of just naturally flowed like from what we were talking about anyway.
Sure.
But I did just want to make that distinction that was something that we intended to actually bring up, was like some different things that we've been learning or having come to mind.
Yeah.
So did anything like come up at like,
I have something too
to add to that?
It kind of goes along with it.
Okay.
But this morning I had a conviction in the midst of my readings. And so I kind of wrote something out. I don't know if I'm going to like follow it word for word. I kind of wrote out like a little speech, but what it was, let me just read it first. I was like, I feel convicted about something in my life, or not necessarily my life. It was just, I feel convicted that I need to share this.
Okay.
It's not necessarily something that I struggle with, but it's something that I feel like I need to communicate.
Like it could be relatable to the public.
Yeah. Throughout my life, I've looked at people that are older than me, like, I guess in a way, not necessarily like an idol, but like someone that's like, I see them. I know that they're older than me. I feel like they have more knowledge than me. I feel like they have a higher honorability, you know? Whether it was in school, whether I was playing sports or just around my family. But the one thing that I always found myself having, whether I realized it or not, was respect for them. And I like had an understanding that they were an authority. Now my conviction, now here's my conviction. I know that I'm not far removed. However, the big thing that I've noticed is people having no respect for literally anything. I think it's the world that we are now living in. There's no real respect for people's parents, people's teachers, or even a gas station employee. Just like a normal job. Like there's nothing, no part of that. There's just a lack of respect. And then, as you said, I literally wrote this. This is my exact words. And then you hop on Instagram and you have some trans woman on there that's fake interviewing like an old man, like trying to make fun of him, sort of thing. And then there's no respect anywhere. And I think that's the agenda being pushed, is like from a lack of perspective,
Yeah.
And now, that's just what I wrote. That was my conviction. And now here is scripture.
Okay.
What kind of scripture has to say about it?
Lay it on us.
It's verses, what I put, 1, 2, 3, and 8. 1 Timothy 5. Never speak harshly to an older man, but appeal to him respectfully, as you would your own father. Talk to a younger man as you would your own brothers. Treat older women as you would your mother, and treat younger women with all purity as you would your own sister. Take care of or respect any widow who has no one else to care for her. But if she has children or grandchildren, their first responsibility is to show godliness at home and repay their parents by taking care of them. This is something that pleases God. Now, verse 8. But those who won't care for their relatives, especially those in their own household, care and respect in their own household, have denied the true faith. Such people are worse than unbelievers. I think that verse right there is probably the most black and white it's going to get. Like you're hearing it from Scripture that says those who do not care for their relatives have denied their true faith and are worse than unbelievers. Being a Christian that does not respect or take care of or have no beat in their body that says I need to honor this person is worse than an unbeliever.
It's crazy.
And an unbeliever is being separated from God forever. It can't get much worse than that. That's just that's where my conviction came in. I think I wrote something else down. Yeah, basically that. It was just after I read that, I was that's very I had a talk with my boss the other day, and I was something that I noticed one of the major things is people don't have respect for anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. There's a lot of meanness. There's a lot of lack of respect. I mean, you talk everyone goes to the grocery store for the most part. I have there's two aspects of it, there's the weirdo that just waves and says hi and hello to everyone. So I don't want to be that guy, but sometimes if I'm walking in the parking lot back to my car and there's someone passing by me, walking into the store, pushing a cart or just walking up, I just say hello. I look at them in the eye and I say hello. More often than not, it's a awkward response. They're
yeah,
hello. It's people in our society, it's becoming more closed off.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming, I mean, you go to the gym, everyone's got headphones in. No one there's TVs up on the screen, of sports games, news, stuff like that. There's so many external things capturing attention.
Yeah.
And not people. I was thinking about that. I was walking on the treadmill. I was yo, what if there was no TVs and you couldn't listen to anything on your phone while you were working out? How many people would be having a conversation in here right now?
A lot of people.
Probably a decent amount. Not in a way that would be oh man, I can't even get my workout in. But just people.
People would be interacting with people, which doesn't happen.
It's going away.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is contributing to the lack of respect.
It definitely is. It's you have people that are so just focused in their phone that they don't have the time or the reference points to make the connections they need to make to it's almost they're being we are all, not just they, I'm not necessarily just talking to younger people, but we are all in a technologically first raised us format, I guess is the word. World.
Yeah,
which isn't good.
So something that I've been doing lately, I've just been trying to write more. To a lot of problem that I've been going through lately has just been with identity and actions and thoughts. And so I've been trying to take to writing to really solve this and learning more about having margin, having space, having silence, having solitude. And I was listening to a podcast today about solitude, And something that he said was, the ultimate challenge in life is the art of managing our consciousness. So if you think about that, like the biggest thing that each individual person has to do is to like manage what they think about, because what you think about is what you do and how you feel. And then like he followed that up by saying we outsource managing our consciousness to our screens. So now it's like, okay, I got to do this. Well, let me pull up Instagram real quick and scroll on social media. And then you put it down and it's like, oh man, I should have just taken care of that. Let me scroll on TikTok now.
Right.
And then like, it's a common thing. I experience it. I do that. So like, we're kind of like, that came into my mind along with like, you know, what we're talking about, like just taking away human interaction, taking away dealing with the consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
If it's this bad now, like what
will it
does
be?
it keep going down?
Yeah. Well, I think that's for us to figure out.
Yeah. Live day by day. Don't fear tomorrow. Don't be anxious about tomorrow. It says that in Matthew 6.
Anxious for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Life is meaningless.
There's absolutely no meaning to life.
There's no meaning to life. No, I saw a meme yesterday. It was like, I think it was from like the perspective of like an English major. It was like, it's 2 p.m. I should probably get on. I should start revising for 20 minutes. It's now 2:05. Now that I've done that, it's now 2:05. I think I deserve a break. I'm gonna get on Instagram. I've been on Instagram for 10 minutes. It's now 5 o'clock. Like, you know, and then I did that again to like, I should revise for like another 20, and then it was like, it's now 5:10.
Yeah,
I deserve another break. It's now 8 o'clock.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's weird. Everybody knows it too.
Yeah,
it's a big conversation. You and I are talking about it.
That must be big then.
No, but I'm just saying, like, we're talking about it right now, but we both do it. Like,
oh yeah,
like we both fall into that like category of people spending time on their phone.
Yeah.
So like, even though we know it's like
we
bad
still do
and
it.
harmful, we still do it.
It's because we find reasons to keep it. We need it for the podcast.
That,
which is true,
but there's no discipline there. It's just a lack of discipline.
Right.
If we're just gonna be frank.
Which we did have discipline.
I'd rather be John.
I've had discipline, but I most certainly do not anymore. Like, I definitely did. I haven't posted something on an Instagram story in like 2 weeks. It's been pretty bad.
I posted one today.
I know, I saw it.
Go check out episode 75 if you haven't.
Yeah, while you're listening, go listen to 75.
You just cover up the mic to say that.
Yeah. Go listen to episode 75.
Yeah. Good stuff from the Word.
New news.
New news. The last thing I wanted to say is about Monday night Bible study. What we did to study the Bible. I just wanted to talk about. Yeah, soap.
Dude, been using it since.
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Wait for it. Soap.
Doesn't Monday feel like it was so long ago?
Soap. Yeah, but then like Tuesday feels like it was yesterday. Like Monday feels like it was a while ago, but it feels like it was just yesterday I was getting my hair cut. You know?
Yeah.
But then I think about it, I was like, man, Tuesday feels like it was really far. But yeah, soap.
Yeah. So soap is a avenue in which you can use to study the scripture. If you're looking for a more, if you're like process oriented, you like to keep it simple.
Oh, also soap.
Soap. Yeah, they're going to get it from that.
But I did it out of order.
Scripture. So you read some scripture. Observation. So you write down anything that comes to mind about it that you think of, that you notice. Application would be like, how can I apply this to my life?
Application.
And prayer. So how can you pray about this?
Prayer.
And I think the application piece is really big. And there's not perfection, right? But like, you read something, you consume something, you listen to this podcast, you think of it like, oh, that's really good. Like, that's helpful. If you can't apply it, it was worthless. It wasn't. Now, like time with God versus like listening to this podcast is like different.
Yes.
But if you're reading the Bible, like to learn something that you want to apply to your life not necessarily in the like spending time with God avenue. Does that make sense? Like that distinction? You have to be able to apply it in order for that to be like
being in the presence of the Lord.
Like you, no,
right? Is that what you're trying to get at?
No. Like there's a saying like you live the lesson till you learn it. Oh. So if you like read about the Bible, something from it, there's no application. It's not like it was helpful. It was just something that you read.
Yes. Okay. I figured. So I'm following.
Yeah. And there's no perfection to that, right? Like I read Matthew 6 probably the most out of any verse at any section of the Bible.
Really?
Where it talks about I read that. I wouldn't say daily.
Like weekly?
Weekly. Sorry about that. Weekly, I'm in it. Sometimes like multiple days in a row. I'm just like, I need this. It's like challenging. Like I think there are things that we face that are challenging that take time to grow. So I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, you need to like apply it immediately after you learn it and like never struggle with it again. But the application piece of that process of reading the Bible, very helpful because it just like allows you to in the moment figure out like how would this look if I want to change.
Yeah.
So that was the last thing I had for the
definitely
the word.
Apply soap to your
to your body.
To your body. Yeah. Hey, for real though, add soap to your body.
Yeah. Put that on a shirt. That's the third time it happened.
I think you just said that to get me to say it.
No, I didn't.
No, he didn't.
Okay. I think we can transition to our last topic of the episode, which is something we haven't done in a while, in 1 year, in fact.
It's not a year. NBA starts Tuesday, doesn't it? Isn't it?
Does it?
I think it does.
It does?
Does it?
We're going to be doing our NBA standings predictions. We don't really talk much about sports to a high degree as much.
Oh, I feel ready, dude.
But I'm excited. Chris and I, we each came up with our own standings.
I'm so ready! Just like I was ready to talk about that.
Yeah. So, what conference do you want to start with?
Oh, dude. This one's tough.
I think we start with the East.
Okay.
We start with the East.
That's cool. That's the first one I did.
This one.
Let's go bottom to top.
I agree. Now, here's the question.
Like me do 15, you do 15, me do 14.
Back and forth. Oh yeah, back and forth.
Okay.
Do you want to try to like agree so that we have like one uniform standings?
Yeah, we'll both give ours and then also do that.
Okay, go ahead.
So at the 15 seed in the East, mind you, this is not like extensive research, but it was. I did a lot of research. I had the Charlotte Hornets coming in at 15.
Me too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Then at 14, I wanted to be higher on them, but Washington.
I also have Washington at 14.
Coming in at 13, I have Toronto.
Wow. Okay. I got Detroit.
You have Detroit? Okay, Detroit's my 12.
Okay.
Is
Well,
Toronto
I just wanted
your
to like, do you want to take, I think we can take a second pause on the list. So like, I think as a Detroit Pistons fan, I'm very excited for the year. I think we could have a big change.
That's why I'm at 12. Obviously, you're not that big a fan.
Yeah. I mean, we'd be making a jump from 15 to 13.
Oh yeah,
which would be good.
Big
and
time.
I think there's a lot of parity in the NBA.
Definitely.
17 wins last year had us as a bottom feeder, but we could win like 35 and probably still be 13.
Right.
So it's like
a lot of parity.
We could double our win total.
Which
I think
that
the win
itself
total would be like the
that'd be
the cool part to see.
Yeah, the win total is big, not necessarily the seed. Now I feel like I need some reasoning to have Toronto that low.
Yeah. I mean, wait, you had Toronto at 13?
Yeah.
You had Toronto below Detroit?
Yes.
Wow. So you're anticipating a big trade?
Yeah, I mean,
you think they're gonna sell?
I mean,
it's just raining.
No, they just like. I feel like they don't have it.
They lost it.
I feel like they lost it. I feel like they're not gonna come out as good. Like I wanted to be higher on the Wizards actually, but I didn't feel right putting Toronto at 14. I feel like the Wizards could do something like the Jazz did last year, in a way.
Where they start off hot
and then kind of
off.
fizzle off. Yeah. So that's why they're still 14. But I was also trying to look at the Wizards' schedule, and they might win 5 games before the break. But like Toronto, I feel like they've lost it. I feel like Toronto it's time to hit reset. I mean, they have Scotty who's good, and they have Siakam, but like
yeah. So do you think
OG needs to get traded.
One of them is on the last year of their deal.
I think it's OG.
Okay, so
It's
either
not
they
Scotty.
re-sign him or they have a new coach.
Do they?
Nick Nurse is on Philly.
Yeah. Oh, I thought Nick Nurse has been gone. I'm not gonna lie.
I think he left this year.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
Okay, I can see that. Like I could see
like
them
there's
falling.
reasoning behind it.
It's not like I got Toronto at 6 either. Like so, I'm just saying like.
Is Toronto at 6?
Oh shoot! I didn't even mean to do that. No, my 12 is Chicago.
Oh, I didn't even mean like because of 6. I thought you actually had Toronto at 6.
No.
Oh,
I got Chicago at 12.
I got Chicago at 11.
Okay, so we just have a minor hiccup then.
Yeah.
I got Orlando at 11.
Orlando's in my not 11.
In your top 6?
No.
Are they 6?
No, they're not 6.
They're in your plan though.
They are in my plan.
You got Indiana.
Indiana's in my 10. Orlando's in my 9.
Who's your 11 then?
Chicago.
Oh, okay. I see where the difference is then. Okay, so what number are we actually at though? 11.
Yeah, we're at 11 for Chicago.
Okay.
At
And
11.
I got Orlando at 11.
Yes, we're at 11.
Okay.
Talk us through Orlando. I mean, Orlando is definitely. I guess we can just talk about Orlando. I think Orlando's a very good team.
I do too.
I think they can be better than Charlotte, Washington, Toronto, Detroit, Chicago, and Indiana. I look at them and I'm like, they got Suggs.
What if they make the OG trade?
And if they make the OG trade,
See,
top 6, bro.
That's the thing I think Orlando needs is they need to like trade.
Shoot, bro. Why do they need OG? They got John Isaac.
Add a vet. They be added John Isaac back.
Yeah, he's playing.
So I hope he stays healthy.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm really excited for that.
I think he will. But that's their defense right there.
I would be thrilled if Orlando made the playoffs. I really would. I just like the
You
order
look at
that
the
I
rest.
have. I just there's not going to be too many bad teams. Like think about it. Like Atlanta was the next group of teams that we're going to talk about. I just feel like they have a lot to prove compared to like all the other people.
Yeah.
So that's why I just kept them outside. I put Toronto at 10.
Okay.
So
Yep.
it's like I don't think that they're going to do anything crazy. Who's in your 10 spot?
Indiana.
Okay.
The Pacers. I do want them to have. They're gonna have a good jump, but I just think it's into the 10. I think they're just gonna sneak in.
Okay.
Like they could also be 7, 8, 9,
Mhm.
but I think that they're gonna just sneak in at 10.
Okay. I got them at 7.
I'm okay with that. I think.
This is starting to be ultra confusing.
So we are in. Your 9 was.
Brooklyn.
Oh,
I got Brooklyn at 9.
really?
I do.
Okay, give it to us.
I like Brooklyn.
Okay.
I think Brooklyn could be 5.
Okay.
I just like just ordering it is like I'd like to see the full season sample size. We got the end of the season sample size, with Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he's good. I hope he's all-star level that he was playing at.
Yeah.
I just think that's another team like similar to the Magic where it's like
Brooklyn's your 9?
Brooklyn's my 9.
Huh.
Where do you got Brooklyn?
I'm not going to tell you where I have Brooklyn yet.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so yeah, I really would have no problem with Brooklyn being like a 6 seed, 5 seed. Okay. I could see it. I just in my perspective, I was like, I'm just gonna predict that these teams perform better than Brooklyn. Okay. Who do you have at 9?
Orlando. We already talked about it.
Okay.
So 8. I feel like we might have the same team at 8, but I have Atlanta.
I have Miami.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
That's not bad.
No.
Is Miami at 7 for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you would be mad at my Miami at 7.
No, I got Miami at 8.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not like
Are you have Atlanta at 7?
I got Atlanta at 6. I got Indiana at 7.
Oh yeah, you already told me that. Miami, I just like they're not a regular season team.
No.
I like obviously they're gonna be good, but like they lost Struess, they lost Vincent. Obviously they have this like Swider dude coming in.
Swider?
Yeah, it's like, his name's like Cole Swider,
Interesting.
Swider. He's played well, really good in the.
Is this a room 40 thing?
I promise you it's not.
Okay.
I promise you it's not. He's played really well in the preseason.
Okay.
So I mean maybe they'll muster something up, but I mean I'm never gonna doubt Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean I'd like to see them.
You just see what everyone else did to
yeah.
combat that.
Yeah. I did see a post. Oh no, it was Bill Simmons' podcast. He was like, monitor James Harden and monitor Donovan Mitchell for a potential Miami move. I don't know how.
Weird.
It was Bill Simmons, so he's reputable, but like, I don't know. It would be cool to see if they could get somebody else. I just don't have high expectations for their regular season. I know I did come on a few weeks ago and predict them winning the championship.
Yeah. Yep.
But for predicting standings, if I want to be correct, I will be more reasonable towards Miami being 8. Now, okay. I think like something that we could do is sort of like talk through coming to an agreement on some of these teams.
On these bottom 15?
Yeah.
From 7 to 15?
Yeah. Let's do that now, and then we can kind of have our top 6 ready.
Okay.
15 Charlotte, 14 Washington.
You cool with putting Detroit at 12?
Putting Toronto all the way down to 13.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay, we can put Detroit at 13.
Okay.
Toronto at 12, Chicago at 11. Where's your Toronto?
Yeah, Toronto's at 10.
Okay.
So that would put Orlando at 10 for me.
Okay.
But I have Brooklyn at 9, and you have not said Brooklyn yet.
Right.
Okay.
Let's just keep going.
All right. Yeah.
We don't have to get
we got the bottom feeders organized.
Yeah. Miami just going to the finals, bottom feeder.
Atlanta, I got them at 6.
Atlanta's my 8.
Okay. So who's your 6?
The Knicks. Now the Knicks are a team that I wanted to put in the top 4. But they're all right. I believe in the Knicks. And I believe the Knicks.
It's the Julius Randle off year.
It is the Julius Randle off year. I wanted to put him higher, but I couldn't. Because just the other teams are just so much better.
Okay.
Like I believe in Randle. I believe in the depth.
So yeah, Brooklyn's your best New York team.
Yeah. I wanted to have a Subway Series, but
okay. I'll talk about New York when we get to them. Number 5, I got Philly.
Me too. I wanted to put I wanted to put New York over Philly, but then I looked at Philly's roster. It's got, dude, the 20-point per game scorers. You got James Harden. They added another 20-point per game scorer in the offseason. Kelly Oubre.
That is true. I thought about looking into these rosters, and I didn't.
I went to the depth charts. That's how I made my picks. And so I got Brooklyn at 4.
Okay. What did you notice about Brooklyn that you're like, this is a top 4 seed?
The depth, the wing play, and the defense.
You're high on Ben Simmons.
I'm just high on the depth, dude.
Well, talk to me. What they got?
So I wish I had it up because when I was looking at it, it was good. I mean, they got Dinwiddie. Come on.
Oh, Lonnie Walker.
Off the bench is Lonnie Walker, actually. That's
Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges.
Yep, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Claxton,
Ben
and
Simmons.
Ben Simmons was off the bench too. And then you had Ben Simmons, Cam Thomas off the bench, and Lonnie Walker. Dude, it was a really good bench unit. And I was just Dorian Finney-Smith, DFS. Just a lot of good. Like they had a solid 10, 11 guys that are gonna run and get like 10 points a game. Like I feel like they're gonna be really, really good.
Okay.
Especially, I also value defense. I value defense and depth.
Okay.
And wing play. I was really, really high on the Nets.
Okay. I can see your argument.
Thank you.
I can see your argument. I don't know. I just feel like it's not unrealistic for the teams to have a better regular season. I think if like Halliburton being healthy the whole year, I think that'll be that'll be good for the Pacers. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray coming together for the whole year.
Boom. Starting
Second
five.
year.
Dinwiddie, Bridges, Finney-Smith, O'Neal, Claxton, Ben Simmons, Lonnie Walker, Cam Johnson, Day'Ron Sharpe, Cam Thomas.
I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. At my 4 seed, I got
Brooks.
Cleveland.
You got the Knicks as a top 3 seed?
I got the Knicks at 3. I'm team lefties. I'm team Brunson.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I'm not a Knicks fan. Only player I really like on the Knicks is
Brunson.
Jalen Brunson.
I'm here for the Villanova squad.
Just DiVincenzo.
And Josh Hart and Arcidiacono.
Oh, snap.
They got everybody.
See, the Knicks have just been one of those teams that have just been so bad my entire life that the fact that they're relevant is like kind of interesting. I'm rooting for them. I'm team Knicks.
Yep. Cavs 3 and 4. It's cool. Could do whatever.
You got Cavs at 3?
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm excited to see what the Cavs do.
Me too. Because they don't really have a lot of depth, but they do have a good 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's good defensively.
Yeah.
Now, this 1 and 2 was probably the hardest decision I've had to do. Because I was like, all right, I like the depth of Milwaukee. But then I was like, that starting 5's defense on Boston is so good. But Boston has no bench. They have nothing. They have Brogdon. They got 6 guys that can run. No. They traded Brogdon. Yeah. They got their faith is in Peyton Pritchard.
Wait, where did Brogdon go?
The Blazers.
You're right, for Drew.
Yeah. He's on the Blazers. So that's why I put Milwaukee at 1 and Boston at 2.
Okay. I had the same.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Joe Mazzulla recently went on JJ's podcast, and he was just talking about, like, you know, being in the season, what do you care about? He's like, I really wanted the 1 seed. And then they ended up being the 2 seed last year, and he was like, you know, sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for. If we got the 1 seed, the 1 seed ends up losing to the 8 seed, like that could have been us. And then JJ's like, Coach, hate to break it to you, you did lose to the 8 seed. I thought that was hilarious, but
very funny.
The fact that, like, I don't know, I was just keeping that in the back of my mind, like, oh, he's not like focused. Okay with not being the top seed, but like, I was just like, okay, they'll be 2. Mm-hmm. Like, they'll be 2 again. Milwaukee, I think, will be great in the regular season with Dame and Giannis.
They got Bobby P coming off the bench,
but they got a new coach, so that could be.
It's Dame and Giannis.
That's true. It
Boston got a new coach. Went to the finals.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, Ime?
No. Yeah.
And then Mazzulla took him to the conference. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we got Milwaukee, we got Boston at 3.
Probably the Cavs.
I could do Cavs.
And I could do Knicks at 4.
You could do Knicks at 4?
Yeah.
You'd be bringing them up from 6.
Down to drop Philly? Down to 6?
I can co-sign that.
Knicks at 5? Nets at 4?
I'd be bringing the Nets up to
I don't think 9. We need to do like a Young Bucks one. I think we just have our own.
Okay. I think it could be, like, we won't do this for the West. We'll just do this for this one. Because I think, like, okay, I think we can do this, Chris.
Okay, I think let's do this.
Okay,
Milwaukee, this is probably 1, so hard on the ears right now.
Boston 2.
Yeah.
Cleveland 3. New York 4.
New York can be 4.
Philly 5.
Philly will be 5.
Who's your current 6?
New York.
Okay.
It would now be Brooklyn.
I could bring Brooklyn to 6.
Okay. And who's your 7?
Indiana.
Who's your?
I got Miami at 8. I can move Miami.
Where's
to 7.
Atlanta for you though?
6.
Right. Atlanta hasn't been said yet.
I could drop Atlanta down.
Atlanta to 7?
I have no emotional tie to Atlanta.
Atlanta to 7?
Where do you got Atlanta?
8.
Atlanta to 7. Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
And then Miami can be 8, but then you're dropping Indiana to 9.
I could rock with it.
Indiana to 9. Orlando's at 10, yeah? Where's Orlando at?
For me, 11. So I can move them to 10.
Yeah.
Toronto 11.
Sure.
Chicago 12.
Can we just put Detroit over Chicago?
Let's do it for all time's sake.
All right, for all time's sake.
Detroit
at Kenny Beecham.
Detroit at 12.
Yeah.
Chicago at 13.
Washington and Charlotte.
See, the thing with Chicago is I just want them to be good. They have a good roster. I just want them to be good, but they're not.
Right. They're not going to be good. All right, let's kick it over to the West.
Okay.
This is the hardest thing. Can we just say our bottom 5 real quick? Houston, San Antonio, Portland, Minnesota, Utah.
Yes.
Okay.
And what's crazy though?
Was yours in that order too?
Wait, say it again.
Houston, San Antonio, Portland, Minnesota, Utah.
No.
Not in that order.
Portland, Houston, San Antonio, Utah, Minnesota.
Okay.
From 15 up.
Yeah.
I had a very hard time. I think locks for the bottom 5. Portland, Houston, San Antonio, Utah.
Definitely.
I think that 11 seed is up for debate. So when I was doing this, I broke it down and I was like, okay, those are the 4 guaranteed not making the play-in.
Yep.
The 3, I think there's 3 teams.
I don't like my rankings anymore.
I think there's 3 teams that are sure locks to make the playoffs.
I think we have them at 1, 2, and 3.
Do you want to just knock those out right now?
No.
You want to just work our way up from the bottom?
Yeah, because I put this probably 10 different ways, 10 different times.
Okay.
And this is the one I settled on. I'm not happy where this team ended up, but I have Memphis at 10.
Wow.
I know. I don't feel good about it.
I got OKC at 10.
Okay, I wanted to put OKC in the top 6, but they're at 9.
So did I.
My OKC's at 9.
I wanted OKC to be like 4.
But like, where are they going to be?
Yeah.
They can't be in it. So yeah, I have Memphis at 10, OKC at 9.
Wow.
I don't feel good about having Memphis there, but I just think, I don't know. I really don't know what the thought process of having Memphis at 10 is, but that's where they are. They're dropping 8 seeds. Hoping for injury.
I mean, think about the coaching. Think about Ja being out. The record without Ja is crazy. They add Marcus Smart.
They lost Tyus Jones.
That's true. They had D Rose.
They're probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
But
they got the defensive player of the year.
10. They're the 10th seed, though.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Probably going to be wrong.
We'll just talk through it. Okay. I got OKC at 10.
Yep.
I'd like to see them do well. You got them at 9, so we can just kind of talk.
Yeah. OKC's going to be good.
They're a likable team.
OKC, they could end up being in the upper echelon. Not like upper, but like
the 1
6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Rather than 9 or 10.
I know what you mean. Huge increase.
Very big increase.
All right. Who you got at 8? I mean 9. Sorry. Wait, no. I got Dallas at 9.
I do not have Dallas at 9. But Dallas at 9 is interesting. Why do you have Dallas at 9?
Because the way.
All right, sold. Cool.
I got Dallas at 9 just because I looked at the teams where it's like.
I also put depth and everything out the window. This was strictly no research, just place teams.
If I saw, the teams I have in the top 6 is like if I saw them at 9, that would be.
It would feel wrong.
Something would have had to happen.
Like you would feel wrong.
The Mavs finished at 11. Everyone knows they have no depth. They have an amazing player at Luka.
Right. They don't have no depth.
Which is why they were not 9 or 10. I mean 10 or 11.
Right.
They have no depth.
They got Josh Green and Spencer Dinwiddie's Ghost, and they have no depth.
I just kept him at 9.
That's
you can
fair.
organize, and also it was like a little bit I favored like
the other teams.
Yeah, a little bit. I got New Orleans at 8.
I do not.
Who do you got at 8?
The Clippers.
Okay.
Did not feel right about it though. Like I didn't want to have them that low, but I had to because I think the other teams are going to be better.
See, I think that like Clippers,
Clip gang or don't bang. I really want to bang though. Like that's the thing. Like my heart wants me to put them at 2, but like.
See, that's the thing is like Clippers, if they are fully loaded, fully healthy, they are making the top 6. But if something happens, it's like, I could see.
Which is super often.
I could see the Clippers being at 8.
Because the Clippers were the 5 seed last year.
I don't have a problem with that.
Thank you.
I don't have a problem with you having them that low, speculating the fact that they could have something go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the load management stuff, they'll be playing more games if they're healthy. I got New Orleans at 8. I'd like to see them do well. They got a lot to prove because last year they really underperformed. I think in my prediction last year I had them at like 1 or 2 because I really wanted them to take like an insane jump.
Which they were.
They could have.
Z got hurt.
So it all comes down to Zion being healthy. They got a lot to show. I think if he can do that, I could see them being it. I could see them being in the top 6. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody plays the whole season.
Yes. So now on to 7?
Yes.
Golden State.
Sacramento.
Okay. Who's your 6?
Memphis.
Golden State? Oh, okay. Well, my 6 is Sacramento. I thought we were going to have mismatched ones on that. But, okay. Golden State being that low. They're getting old.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chris Paul's in, but, like, you got Chris Paul and Curry and Clay, who's just freaking
He wants his bag.
D-Rider and, like, all that. I don't really like Clay. I don't think they're going to be great.
Even with CP.
Even with CP.
They got Jordan Poole out of the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
They got Dario Saric now, 3-point specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just Steph Curry is so good.
He is.
Still.
Well,
Steph Curry is still so good.
Yeah. And they have Kuminga. Kuminga's going to do well.
They got him and Moody. If they give him some opportunity.
Which maybe they won't. They probably won't.
I don't know.
I don't know either. NBA champion Moses Moody. Sacramento at 7.
Yeah, I mean,
Just a little bit of a drop off.
I just think I looked at, like, this was my thing. Sacramento, 48 wins last year, 7 seed, 45, 43, 45. Like, it's not like it was insane.
It's not like they're bad.
Yeah. It's just like
That's also what I'm saying about Memphis.
The
being
margins are so, like, so thin. They could go on, like, a bad streak and, fall from 3 to 7 in the last 2 weeks of the season.
10. Right.
So, like,
That's kind of what this list. I feel like we probably should have prefaced that from 10 to 1. Well, 4 to 10 probably. It's probably going to be the same thing as last year.
yeah, I think.
Like, it'll be very, very close. Who's in what spot?
Yeah. Yeah. I think 11 to 4 is really up for debate.
Yes.
But I think like 7, I don't know. So anyway, we're at 6, right?
I said Sacramento.
I got
you said
Memphis. 5, I have the Clippers, anticipating that they will perform.
And I have New Orleans.
Okay.
Anticipating that they will perform.
Okay. So that's what a lot of it is like injuries.
Yep.
And stuff like that. Like,
and so,
just the questions, like speculating that
right.
things will go according to plan for a team.
So there are teams that, like, I'm hopeful on, like New Orleans and Dallas, that Henry's like, nah, they're not going to do well. Like, so my 7 and 8 is Golden State and LA, while my 4 and 5 is Dallas and New Orleans, but your 4 and 5 is Golden State and LA, while your 8 and 9 is Dallas and New Orleans.
Yeah.
Right. So like I'm high on those two teams while Henry's low on them, but Henry's high on the teams that I'm not.
But
on.
it's not like crazy.
But it's not like being high on. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just weird how like close everything is this year. And you're right, I do have Golden State at 4. I'm not even a Golden State guy. I just think Steph Curry is so good still. Like
I think we got the same
a top 5 player still. I mean, Luka is too, but like it's just different circumstances.
Yeah. I feel like we got the same order on 3: Denver, Phoenix, LA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was no debate in that.
No.
I did it first. I did freaking top 8, and then I was like, Phoenix isn't even in here.
You just forgot about it?
Yeah, dude. I was just putting teams in, and I was like, I don't even have Phoenix.
You got Denver at 1, Phoenix at 2, and LA at 3. Okay.
Yeah. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we agree on
that what I have?
Those 3. See, like that's the thing with debating this one.
We're not doing it.
We don't have to.
I refuse.
But I got Golden State at 4, and you got them at 7?
Yeah. Oh, that's not crazy. It's more I have Dallas at 4, you have them at 9.
So who's your 4, 5, 6?
Dallas, New Orleans, Sacramento.
So we don't even have the same 3, like at all, to any capacity. I have the Warriors, Clippers, and Grizzlies.
I want to put the Clippers in there, but I'm going to just stick with it. Hopefully something good happens.
I think you can only like do that with, like, it's not like we can do like OKC, New Orleans, Clippers at 4, 5, 6. Because those are like, okay, a lot has to go right for these 3 teams to like make this jump and be solid. I'm excited for the NBA season.
I am too.
It's going to be good.
We need to do something that, like, me and Henry have a 16-leg parlay between each other, and
Oh.
the loser has to, or the winner gets to pick the loser's outfit for one of the podcasts.
Do you want to do a review or a rewind on it?
Rewind.
I agree. Completely agree.
I completely agree. Couldn't agree more. I feel like there was something else. What wagers do we have going on?
Fantasy?
Just fantasy footballs.
Which the
Do we need to put a wager on this one? On the season? On the NBA season? NBA season standings?
Are we going to even remember that?
We got a picture of it, though.
Oh, you're right.
I don't know what the wager could be.
So by the end of the season, whoever has the best standings.
Yeah.
Whoever's
the most correct.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, they were one spot away. But like whoever's the most like Denver's one, Phoenix two. Even though that wouldn't give either of us an advantage.
So it's basically just being correct on your speculation.
Right.
I think instead of a jersey, just like a shirt of a team. And then for the playoff bracket ahead of the finals is the jersey.
Sure. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
That's no question.
So I'm just saying like the shirt is the warm up, but it makes sense followed up by the jersey.
There you go. Okay.
That's why. Because if I was just like a t-shirt.
We'll put that on it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what we'll put on it.
But update on the boys fantasy football punishment league. I am currently sitting in second at 4-2, and Chris is currently sitting at seventh at 1-5.
Okay, now tell him who has the most points in the league.
Chris by 12.
I'm leading the league in points. I'm in 7th place out of 8.
And you have 1 win.
And I have 1 win.
That's crazy.
Talk to him. No, I'm getting a bounce back week this week. I'm for sure. I'm coming back. I'll be 2-5. We're all making the playoffs, so it's whatever this says. Okay, obviously whoever wins.
Well, I'd be playing you in the playoffs right now if it was playoff season.
So like whoever wins, right?
Yeah,
like that's first. But like let's say like someone that's 3-3 now wins, but they only win 2 games, and so like first place is 5-2,